Hey Wally Watchers! Right, I've got a really quick video here to make. It is a Blood Bowl conversion. Now this guy here is a Black Orc, and it's from Warhammer fantasy game back in the early mid-90s, something like that. 94, 95. Anyway, at the same period they released the Blood Bowl game, a new edition of Blood Bowl, and the Black Orc in the Blood Bowl game for the Orc team looks like that. It's from the same era, so it's the same design. This is the fantasy guy. Yeah, with his arm up in the air. That's the war game in fantasy version, and that's the Blood Bowl version. But they're the same style because they're from the same era. They're the same design. They're in a different pose, and they've got some differences in their appearance slightly, but overall they're the same. They're the same guy. Well, the same style. So they're perfect for converting for Blood Bowl if you want to do that kind of thing. So what I've done with this guy is he came with an axe or a sword coming out of this hand, or maybe he had and he came with another weapon in this hand, maybe an axe or a sword. So he had two weapons, one in that hand and one in this hand. You just chop them off, yeah. And what I did is I drilled a piece of wire through his fist and then bent it like that into a horseshoe. Now I can sculpt around that and make a knuckle duster or a punch dagger for Blood Bowl. And the same with this hand. In this hand I just drilled right through it, and then I threaded a piece of wire through it and glued it into place with super glue. And then I found some skulls on eBay, human skulls, and I just drilled into the bottom of it and super glued it into position. And then all I have to do now is sculpt spinal vertebrae over the wire and out of this end here, and that'll look like he's swinging a human spinal column around his head with a skull on the end of it. You can do anything you want. You could have him holding a club. You could sculpt a club on there. Maybe chop his hand off and sculpt a football in his hand. You could do that. But anyway, what I did is another same figure, but I sculpted a spinal column over the wire. So now it looks like he's swinging a human spinal column and head around his head. Sorry. And in this hand I've sculpted over. I ain't finished the knuckle duster yet, but I've sculpted over it, and I'm going to put some spikes and things on it to make it look like some kind of weapon for Blood Bowl. But they look exactly the same. They're the same style, so you can use them, and you can get them really cheap on eBay. These guys, really cheap. And all you have to do is chop the weapons off and sculpt over the top, and you can have some Blood Bowl Black Orcs that look a bit different. I've also got some, these aren't finished either yet, but I got burnt with I got burnt on eBay with these three Blood Bowl trolls. They're second edition Blood Bowl trolls, but they're copies, they're forgeries, or whatever you want to call them, reproductions. But they're not very good reproductions because they came and there's no detail on them. A lot of the detail that should be on them is missing, so they're obviously fake. But I thought, well, if they're fake, I can do what I want with them. I don't have to. I can change them and sculpt over the top of them and make them look different. So with this guy, I had to sculpt some more straps on his back. Originally he has like a rope going across here and across here, tying his shoulder, but his shoulder pad into position. But they're gone because it was a bad forgery. There was no rope there. It didn't cast properly by the look of it. Whoever did it, they didn't cast it properly. So I've had to re-sculpt all of these straps into position to make it look like where the rope usually was. And what I did is I also moved his hand up from this position this hand here. It's usually down around his feet, but I kind of cut it loose and bent it into a different position. And he's holding a football now as well. I sculpted a elbow pad on there for him. Some bandages around his feet. I'm going to put some more bandages around this foot. This guy I'm going to sculpt. I'm going to sculpt some hair coming out the top of here over this wire. I've given him like a piece of armour, like a breastplate or over the front of him. I'm going to put some more straps around the back here. As you can see, the rope, that's how it came to me, where the rope hadn't cast properly. It's just little bits and bobs it hasn't cast. Whoever did it did a bad casting. So I'm going to put some more straps on here. And he'll have like some hair coming out of here. That's going to be difficult. I ain't sculpted hair before, so that might be quite difficult. Okay, so and this is the third one I got. I've given him like a hoodie. I'm going to put a buckle underneath his chin coming out here, up to this green hood here. So it looks like he's got a hood strapped over his head. Shoulder pad, I had a spare skull, so I put a human skull on the spike. I gave him some more armour around his hand. Yeah, I'm going to put some kind of like metal on this strap around his arm here. So when it's painted up, it looks like it's got metal studs or whatever going across there. But anyway, if you get a reproduction, it's not the end of the world. You can just like sculpt parts onto them and make a different version. Okay, so that's a Blood Bowl video for now. How to convert a black oak blocker and how to convert old reproduction figures if you manage to get hold of them on eBay. Okay, thanks a lot.